So there's been a big shakeup as of lately. Not only are a lot of the locals, but people who are moving and relocating here that we're helping are starting to choose Washington, Vancouver area over the Portland metro. So what we're going to do is we're going to open this up, discuss some of the pros, the cons, the good, the bad, the ugly of living both in Vancouver versus Portland, and really what's going on in both areas to hold all of this new traffic that's coming in. So if you want to learn that info, we're getting after it right now. What's up, everybody? I'm Jackson Wilkie.
And Jesse Dow.
That's right. We are the Real Agent Now group right here in the Portland Metro. If this is your first time to this channel, you want to learn everything about what it's like to work, eat, sleep, live, play, and the difference between Vancouver and Portland. Make sure you tap that subscribe button and you click the little bell so you're notified every time we do a new video. And we are honestly getting so many phone calls, emails, texts every single day from people moving and relocating here. We absolutely love it. So thinking about moving anywhere in Portland or Vancouver, make sure you give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email. Even send that pigeon carrier. However you want to get a hold of us, we got your back when moving to both Portland and Vancouver. All right, man, I remember that South Waterfront project going and sometimes just going up to Vancouver with you when I was learning the area. But now it's like Vancouver's a thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
With the growth here, what are you seeing, with a lot of the past clients that's drawing them? There's obvious things like no state, the income tax and stuff, but it's not necessarily just that. Why are they really choosing Washington over Portland?
I would say that the real main reason is actually the property taxes, taxes and state income tax. Is you do have a sales tax up there, but like I always tell everyone, if you have to pay a 10% state income tax or pay a 10% sales tax, would you rather pay? You're not going to say you make $100,000, you're being taxed on that $100,000. Or if you spend, are you going to spend $100,000 to pay to offset that? No.
Right.
So the best scenario is you live in Washington and then you just drive over to Oregon to buy your groceries, your supplies and whatever else. Now you're basically paying no state income tax and you're not paying a sales tax. Oregon is not a very progressive state, or they are a progressive state, but they don't have any sales tax and they have a lot of issues there. And we're not going to get into that whole mess of things. Right. But people love Vancouver because one, it's that reason that we just mentioned. Two, the property values are a little bit less. Three, you can get some amazing properties for a great value. And now they've got the downtown area has been completely redone, right, and it's beautiful. They have a beautiful farmers market every weekend during the good months. And then now they got that whole entire development on the river, which runs between the 205 and the I-5 bridge. And that is all developed. They're building some mixed housing down there. So whether it's condos for sale, apartments and hotels, but they got all these awesome restaurants down there. They got Mary Hill Winery, tasting room. They got some super high-end like Latin restaurants, some cool bars, and it's just one of those places that people actually want to be. And when you get out a little bit further, say Camas, right, Ridgefield, Salmon Creek, you're still getting that city living, but you're also getting space and you're getting good values, So when we get a lot of people coming in, they land at the airport. And when you land at the airport, you can see Vancouver just right across the river. So a lot of people just say, oh, I want to go over there and check that out. And, some people love it and some people don't love it. And like I always say, it's one river that separates the two states, but it's a complete different life over there. But even if you wanted to live in Vancouver and work in Portland, your drive is only going to be, say, 30 minutes max. It's only about 5 miles to downtown, 10 miles, probably 10 miles. But everyone is going down there, so it's going to be a little bit of a traffic. We did that video of driving through traffic from Vancouver to Portland, and it took us, I think it was like 18 minutes to go against traffic, and that was from downtown Vancouver to downtown Portland. Yeah, obviously in traffic, it's a little bit more aggressive, and it has lightened,
since COVID. A lot of people working from home, but yeah, you're going to get bottlenecked on the bridge for sure. And that what's the crazy thing is like, everybody always thought, oh, you could live in Washington, but you got to do everything down in Portland. That's where it all is. But now, like, I find myself driving up to Vancouver to hit their restaurants. They got a killer scene down there in the downtown area, but it's starting to sprawl. I remember even just a few years ago driving from crossing the bridge, hitting downtown Vancouver, and going out to Ridgefield. It seemed like you were in the middle of nowhere, but things are starting to connect. You have all of your major stores, but yet you have your small town feel. Plus, there's casino up there, so there's a lot going on, from the salmon creeks and stuff. But you can get more space up that way, right? That's the big difference. Is Vancouver's like at the river, and everything goes up to the north, right?
Yeah. So their building restrictions up there are not the same as in Oregon. Portland is the only city in America that has a urban growth boundary.
Yep.
So we are way underdeveloped for what we have. The new construction is super tight right now, but in Washington, it's kind of like Texas and Arizona. It's like just you buy the land, the city approves it, now you're building.
Right.
It can be anywhere. So up there in Washington, they have so many new construction developments, and people love it. So because there are lots, it's the range of housing is from the 400,000 range up to the multi-million-dollar range. It just depends really what you want as a lifestyle. Is what we're going to show you. So like we had a client not too long ago reach out to us, and he was coming to town just to explore the area, and got on our Zoom call that we do with every single client. And Heather, our team lead, she works with almost every single client. She actually built them a custom, we call it the hotspots. So if you come to town and you're just wanting to tour around and you don't want to bother us, or you're just like, yeah, I don't know if this is really for me, still schedule the Zoom call with us, because we actually build out, if you think that you're going to eventually buy here, we build this, what it's called a custom hotspots. So we'll tell you exactly where to go, what addresses to drive by, what little shopping centers to take a look at, what parks to stop by, get out, fill the area, see if it's your fit. We've helped hundreds of people relocate here. We know if you tell us what your lifestyle is, we know what to give you and what areas to send you to. So it really takes all the guesswork out. And you and I have both, moved different cities. And when we drive to different cities, we're always like kind of just doing our own thing and trying to figure it out.
It's more stressful than anything.
Exactly.
Everything we've done is because we've gone through this. And so we want you, when you come here, to have more of like a great experience, right? You're going to have more of a piece together experience of like, hey, I can go here, 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 instead of like, man, trying to drive from east to west or whatever. It's brutal.
Yeah. And then most people, when they drive around, they're driving up and down the freeways. They're taking off ramps. They don't know where they're going. They're like, why would anybody ever live here? This place sucks. Or this, they don't understand it because they're not hitting the right areas.
Yep.
So the client, they actually reached out to us. We got them on their hotspots doc. They went out, and then all of a sudden we got a contract in the email from a builder. They found a house. They weren't planning on moving for 6 months. They met a builder that was starting a construction on a new build. They got their own, the contract underway. They listed us as their agent. And one thing that we tell clients all the time is, whether you're working with us or working with someone else, you need to be represented, because the builders' agents are working directly for the builders.
Right.
You're a byproduct of their situation. They will not save you money. They will not give you deals. They're just pocketing all that extra money, and you have no representation. I don't know how many new construction houses I've resold that when we sold it, not in this market, because this market's crazy, but when selling these things like in 2019, 2020, dude, we would get the repair addendum for these new construction houses that were resales, broken sewer lines, collapsing roof. I sold my grandmother's house that they bought from the builder, and the whole entire roof was messed up. Mm-hmm. It was like a $10,000 fix. It's because they didn't do an inspection. The builder said, oh, you don't need an inspection. This is brand new. 25% of the sewer lines at construction are broken when they put in. Sometimes they don't even hook them up because they
and don't be terrified about this. Like, this is okay. We just want you to not pay for it. We want that to be taken care of when you get into that new construction home.
Exactly. So what we do. Yeah. Exactly. So we just have, what I'm saying is, we have the processes and systems built in place, because once you get going on this construction build, if you weren't represented by an agent, you would just think, oh, okay, this is what I'm going to do. Well, there's specific inspections that need to be done. There's specific benchmarks that need to be hit in place. You need to make sure that the warranties are intact. We need to make sure you're protected and all those things. And they'll say, oh, yeah, you're protected. We're going to give you representation. Yeah, with their agent, which doesn't have your best interest in mind. So anyways, we just say, hey, whether it's us or someone else, make sure you're protected. Same thing if you go to an open house, because sometimes these people are real sneaky. And, they want to what's called double ending a deal. It's when they represent the seller and the buyer. We don't do that because we don't think it's ethical, for one. We also think there's a lot of liability. It's proven that it is. That's where most lawsuits come from, outside of like for sale by owners and rentals. Mm-hmm. But we want you to have an amazing experience, and we want you to feel that you're free to do whatever you want and move about the cabin per se with the seatbelt off. And that's really what the hotspots does. And especially when you start getting into parts unknown. For us, we're here every single day. So we know what it's like, what different cities and different areas are. And having a guide without having a guide is the best thing ever, because we get text messages, phone calls from people. They're like, oh my gosh, I freaking love this place. Like, you guys sent me to the best place. Like, I could totally imagine my family here. I love this park. Oh, I love this school.
We know the area.
Yeah. Oh, I love the school, but I don't really like the houses. What has the same kind of school, but the houses are a little bit different? Then we're like, oh, this is where you need to go. Bink, bink, bink.
Yep.
But it really sets up for a real nice trend move. And if it ends up not being the place that you want to be, that's great too, because then you get to find the place around the country that you want to find if you are looking to relocate without restrictions. Because, maybe it's not for you, and that's perfectly okay. We work with so many people who don't know where they're wanting to move, and that's just part of the learning experience.
And that's what we love when you reach out, because that's the thing is you got to start opening up to us about lifestyles, what you need to be close to, so that we can play. Because there's 2-3 areas that you've never heard of, 5-6 areas that you've never heard of either Vancouver or Portland, that are going to fit your lifestyle perfect. But a lot of times, and I did this is why I have a lot of passion about the relocation process, is you're reading something, right? Or you're looking on a map. It does zero justice, right? And it's more of a feeling thing. I'm telling you right now, you could even, after you see some of our vlogs and we've shot videos, that's the perfect spot. You drive in, and you're like, it's just not my feeling. We call that a lot of times ahead of the game. When you're like, I need this, I need that, and I'm thinking about this area, we're like, no, it's not going to fit you. We will take you through there. But these 2 areas are exactly what you're thinking about. So we love when you reach out. We have these conversations. We bring up the Zoom. But let's talk about Vancouver now. It was really sparse. There was like spots on the map, and now it's really kind of starting to grow together. But maybe 3 areas, 3 different lifestyles in Vancouver where we're seeing people. I know my hot spot is definitely Camas. Love the outdoors, the lake, the family vibe. But maybe 2-3 spots in Vancouver people are loving.
Yeah, so the obviously the number one is going to be like the Camas / Fisher's Landing area,
and that's the northeast side, correct?
Well, for Vancouver, yeah, it's going to be the southeast because it's on the river. For Portland, it would be the northeast side. Yep. But because we're switching states here,
I'm trying to give them a reference. Here's downtown Vancouver. We're going to start over kind of on this east side of
exactly. Yeah. So if you went directly down the SR 600, I believe, you go east. You got Camas. It's Fisher's Landing is 192nd block exit, so you're talking 200 blocks away from downtown, and you're gonna get some really nice houses up there. I mean, anything from you can even get houses in the 500 range up to the multi-million-dollar range. And they have Camas Meadows Golf Course is beautiful. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of new construction. There's a beautiful new
Lacamas Lake.
There's a brand new Toll Brothers development up there that's really nice. But you can get some views up there, horse properties. If you need a landing strip, the sky's the limit on what you can get. So that's like, if you have some money, you want the best schools, and you don't mind living, 45 minutes from downtown Portland, you are going to be very close to the Portland International Airport.
Yep.
And then then that Fisher's Landing is a little bit less expensive, and you're going to get more of a traditional residential neighborhood type feelings. I say, to me, it feels like a lot like Beaverton. Mm-hmm. And there's going to be, the restaurants, just the real suburban-ite style living, $400,000 up to, $600,000 is probably going to be the main price point. So I say like Fisher's Landing and Camas are kind of they run into each other. But then if you were to go to that downtown Vancouver living / the waterfront, is you're going to get condo living, and that's pretty much what you're going to have offering. There are going to be some older single level homes, but you're talking condos anywhere from 300, 400,000 range up to multi-million dollars. And even alongside the river, a little bit to the east, like back towards Camas, but not outside of that riverfront, there's these condos. I can't think of the name of them off the top of my head. And there's actually a community down there. I know of a listing coming up. It's about $3.5 million, and it's got its own private beach. But there's these condos that don't look like anything special, and they actually they're huge. They're like 4,000 square foot single level condos, and they're selling for $1 to $2 million. And we see a lot of people from California wanting to move up there, and a lot of people buy condos down there just because of the tax breaks. They say this is their primary residency. Whether it is or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't audit anyone. So that's where I'd be moving if I
They
wanted
have
that
their own little
downtown.
like independent coffee shops sometimes, and they all have paths that go along the river too. And I took a California client, and they just loved that, like little coffee shop and just a path that took them all the way along the river for endless walking.
Yeah, and that's also where all the new restaurants and bars and hot spots are. A lot of people want to go down there and see it. And even if a lot of people travel down there. And even if you were to like say live up in, the next spot I want to talk about is like Ridgefield
Yep.
and Philida.
Philida.
Those are like the real kind of like removed from the city, lower dense population cities that still are a little ways out there. You're going to get great values for your home dollar. But to get to downtown Vancouver is probably like 15, 20 minutes. You drive, 10 more minutes down south on I-5. Guess what? Now you're in Alberta Arts District. You're in, 10 more minutes past that is downtown Portland. So it's a real straight shot jaunt down to like the real entertainment areas. But,
you got a casino right up there too.
Yeah, in Ridgefield.
All the events.
You got the Elena Casino, which is the new hot casino up there. And yeah, I mean, it's really the sky's the limit on what you want to do. It's also close to La Center. So if you want to go gamble also, look, La Center has a bunch of casinos in it as well. And not to mention, Seattle is only about 2.5 hours north from there.
Yep.
So you're a straight shot up. And if you want to take the train runs up there. They have the express train that runs to Seattle, no stops. Or you can always fly to PDX, and it's like a 20-minute flight to Seattle. That's what I used to do. It was real simple, real easy. The sky's the limit. And Portland is an international airport. You can fly all around the world straight out of there. But other than that, those are my 3 top picks. And those are the 3 areas that most of our clients are buying.
Right.
I'd say Camas is going to be the number 1 area, followed by Vancouver proper, and then
Ridgefield. Yeah. Even, Salmon Creek's a little more space, but yeah, that's it really. And you reach out about, lifestyle again, and we'll be able to place you. But we did a lot of videos on these as well. So if you want to go check them out and see them, go check out Ridgefield. We shot videos right down there. We are your eyes, ears, boots to the ground. We love this stuff. We absolutely just engulf ourselves with the relocation process and helping everybody move and relocate here that wants to. And so with that being said, the only way that we can really help you move here is you got to reach out to us, guys. You got to give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, send us that pigeon carrier. However you want to get a hold of us, we got your back when moving to Vancouver and to Portland, Oregon. And until the next video, guys, we'll catch you later.